Hey guys, Nubkeks here and welcome back to the Heroes of the Storm 2.0 beta. In today's video, we're diving into the live version of the UTHER rework and we're going to be playing Shockadin, basically Holy Shock UTHER, building around this sort of really very much a revamped talent build. It was kind of there before, but it was terrible, right? But now with the rework, there's been a number of changes that really make this a lot more viable and probably a lot more relevant. And I'm going to be explaining what they are and what they do in the video today. There will be another UTHER video going up, which will be more of a sort of Healy focused video with more heals and things like that. So that will be going up as well, which was actually on Hanamura. So stay tuned for that in the next day or two. But yeah, in this particular game, we're going for Holy Shock. So I think one of the, there's about like 3, I'd say, super relevant changes that make Holy Shock UTHER much more viable. Number 1 is that Holy Shock has been moved to level 4 as a level 4 talent. So you get it way earlier in the game, so that's pretty nice. Number 2, again, another small change is that there are a number of other Q talents, and I'll cover those. We've already picked one up at level 1. You can see we're actually finishing that quest very quickly. I'll tell you what that does soon. But yeah, there's a bunch of Q talents that are going to synergize quite nicely with Holy Shock. And then number 3, which is one of the biggest deals actually, is basically the reworks to his Q and his trait. Very, very impactful. So his trait, Eternal Devotion, now applies Devotion or Devotion Aura, something like that. But basically, whenever you heal someone, you give them 25 armor for 2 seconds. Wow, Genji just jumped into an Abathur Bind. Rip. You give them 25 armor for 2 seconds, which is actually a really substantial buff. That's extremely effective. And the cool thing is that this will synergize with Holy Shock, because whenever we use our Q on someone who is not us, we apply... Basically, Q does a full heal to our ally. It will give half the heal to us. So basically what this does, you can see I'm kind of checking out the talents in advance here during this game, kind of thinking through how I'm going to be building this hero. But yeah, basically what this means is that with Holy Shock, right, we're going to be able to just like, as we're Holy Shocking people, so casting out on enemy heroes for damage, using our Q for damage, it will still be healing us at the same time, and also giving us 25 armor for 2 seconds every time we cast it. And Holy Shock puts your Q on a 6-second cooldown, so we can have kind of like a 33% uptime on ourselves for our armor while we're sort of in melee range and doing all this Q damage, which can be pretty effective. You can see we go down here. It looks to me like the Flash of Light healing has been slightly nerfed, but as you can see, it's basically 8 seconds where you give one of your allies... actually, I suppose it's 10 seconds, isn't it? You can essentially give one ally not only a ton of healing, but you can give them 10 seconds of armor, right? Every time you heal them with Flash of Light, you give them 25 armor. And hey, you're a spirit for 8 seconds, so you start casting. You get the 8 seconds as a spirit of constant heal, so they get 8 seconds of armor, and then you're dead for 2 seconds, but the armor persists for 2 seconds more. So I suppose it's about 10 seconds of armor that you can give. That's a pretty big deal. So it seemed to me like the healing was nerfed. I'm not sure if it has been, I didn't check, but I would imagine it has been to balance that out. If not, then it's exceptionally powerful, to say the least. This fight's getting pretty crazy here. I think we might have missed a heal right there, which is a bit silly. But yeah, this is gonna be, oh yeah, we totally get killed, and a Nubkeks dies anyway. Whoops. Well, hey, more heals for Zeratul, I guess, so he's happy. But yeah, let's talk about the talents and what we're building here to go alongside this. So our quest here at level 1, and you can see we've almost finished this. You need to get 80 stacks, but it is a quest called Silver Touch. It is a quest for your Q talent at level 1 to reduce damage from heroes using your Devotion Aura. So, you know, whenever we prevent or reduce armor with that, whenever we prevent damage with the armor that we give with our heals, we do get stacks of that. Now, bear in mind that whenever you Q an ally, you give themselves and yourself armor. Whenever you use your W, you give yourself armor and anyone you hit. So, for example, right there, we hit our whole team. So everyone on our team had armor. So that's pretty nice for us. We are being chased down right here by this Greymane. We're just trying to juke his Q. We actually juke his Q. That's the most important thing. Now he is chasing us. We're trying to focus him down. He actually has some nice jukes himself, but he gets taken out. Abathur Hat popping on top of us to keep us alive. Dodging the Greymane Q is pretty much the crucial thing. That would have killed us. Thought we were going to go down when he jumped into stealth there for a second, but we just about made it out. Breathe a sigh of relief. But yeah, so this is the quest at level 1 to reduce damage. It's got 2-part reward. The first reward is after reducing damage 40 times. And I mean, you can see we're less than 5 minutes into the game. We finished this quest. Very easy to finish this one. But after reducing damage 40 times, it reduces the mana cost of your Q, Holy Light, by 20, which is nice. It's normally 90 mana. It makes it 70 mana. And then once you've done it 80 times, it will reduce the mana cost to 50. So you're going from 90 mana to 50 mana. And it also increases the range when you finish the quest of Holy Light by 50%. So you get longer range on your Q and a hugely reduced mana cost, which is pretty useful. Now the big deal here is how this is going to synergize with our Holy Shock, which is at level 4. So level 4 Holy Shock, you can cast Holy Light on enemy heroes to do half damage. So instead of healing, it will do half of that healing as damage. It also gives you the full self-healing benefit, so that's fantastic. Reduces the cooldown by 6 seconds and refunds 45 mana. So, effectively, once we've finished our Silver Touch quest, which we have, the Holy Light will cost 50 mana by default. We cast it on an enemy hero, it will do some damage, it will heal us, give us 2 seconds of 25 armor. It will give us back 45 mana, so we spend 50 mana, get 45 back, so you only spend 5 mana to actually use Holy Shock as an aggressive tool. And yeah, then reduces the cooldown to 6 seconds, so we can do this every 6 seconds. It's pretty awesome. It's, you know, it's not a lot of damage, but when you factor in the fact that it basically with this talent build costs you no mana, it's a bit of extra damage, and the fact that it's healing you and giving you armor as well, I think you get to see, or start to see, where Holy Shock Uther becomes a little bit more relevant. You know, it is a little bit of extra single target kill pressure, and it just enables you to be that sort of tankier frontline, which is awesome. But yeah, I think, you know, one of the things like going into this, right, is it's the same thing as it was in World of Warcraft with paladins. You know, whereas it's kind of a cool fantasy to be, you know, this heavily armored holy warrior blasting people for crazy damage with all this holy magic. It's not really the way it's gonna work. You're not gonna be you know, doing insane range damage. You know, it doesn't turn Uther into a range damage dealer by any means, shape, or form. What it does do is give you a little bit of extra damage that you can kind of throw out there, and it's going to be very relevant, especially to the start of the fight. And right, bear that in mind. Just because you got Holy Shock doesn't mean every time you use your Q it's going to be a Holy Shock. But it'd be very relevant to the start. You know, you kind of go in as that frontlining Uther. You can use the Holy Shock to throw an extra bit of burst damage into your team's sort of initial attempt to lock someone down and kill them. It will heal you up because you're going to be in the front line, so you're probably going to take a little bit of extra damage. It'll give you armor to survive that initial fight, and then it puts it on only a 6-second cooldown, so you are pretty much, you know, ready then 6 seconds into the fight to kind of turn around and then start healing your teammates a bit more vigorously if that's what's needed. So I think that's kind of worth bearing in mind. You know, you're not going to be a proper range damage dealer as Uther. Looks like we're going to die here. Oh no, with our heals it's just enough. Is it though? Is it though? Genji's on the chase. Chen is on the chase. Oh, Chen picks us up with the flaming breath. What a jerk. Well, we're going to be able to heal up our allies, so at least that's something. At level 7 in this game, I think I went for Armor of Faith, which is whenever we are stunned, rooted, or silenced, it makes our Holy Light's cooldown recharge 200% faster for 6 seconds. It makes it cooldown super quick. And again, here you can kind of see Uther becoming this somewhat scary dueling hero, right? You get stunned, you know, they try to focus you down. That's one of the things. Uther becomes a bit of a nightmare to deal with, right, with this build, because right, we start trying to focus him down, you know, we stun him. Oh shit, well, his Holy Light is cooling down 3 times as quick. He's throwing these Holy Shocks off like crazy. He's basically maintaining like permanent armor on himself. He keeps healing himself. He's super tanky. Then, hell, when we even kill him, he becomes this ghost and he starts healing his teammates even more. That's a pretty scary thing to go up against, I have to say. We're going to try to get a VP Divine Storm combo here. We'll see how many we can hit. We get 2 people. We'll take it. Trying to kill Genji with the Holy Shock, but he did pop his deflect right on time. but our teammates were there to pick up the kill, which is awesome. In this game, as you can see, I did go for Divine Storm. I've been going this a lot on Uther, and it seems to work really well, honestly. I think it's a super underrated heroic, and we'll definitely see a lot more play. It's actually, you know, been pseudo-buffed. Why has it been pseudo-buffed? Because Uther is so much tankier now in the front line. He's got so many more tools to survive in the front line that I think Divine Storm is going to see a lot more play, because you can be in there so much more, and you can get into position to use it so much more, and that will open up like a new sort of style of play for Uther. You can see we're going super ham here and crazy. Definitely probably overextending and overdiving, but oh well. Level 13 then, I went for Blessed Champion in this game. And what this does is, for 5 seconds after using Holy Light, after using your Q, your basic attacks heal yourself and nearby allies for 15% of a regular Q heal. So this has been slightly nerfed with this rework. I think it used to be 20%. So, you know, 5 basic attacks during the duration would basically be equal to a full Q heal on everyone near you and yourself. So it's been slightly nerfed to 15% of that, but that's okay. I think it makes sense. You know, the rest of that tier has also been slightly nerfed as well. So the level 13 tier is not going to be quite as strong as it was before. You got a few less options, I think. But like, this will synergize really well. You can see the sort of aura popping up right there. This works with Holy Shock, by the way. So again, like, you Holy Shock someone, and it's going to give you that aura, so you can just, you know, be in there Holy Shocking them, healing yourself, giving yourself armor, and then using your basic attacks to try to you know, finish them off, and at the same time just keep doing these mini heals to yourself and your team. It's pretty useful. You know, it's just that little bit of extra healing and extra survivability, which is really, really nice. Coming out to level 16, to give you a bit of a preview for that one, I think you've got a couple of cool options here. I think the main one you're going to be going for with this Holy Shock build is probably Beacon of Light. And what this does is, while below 50% health, Uther receives 200% more self-healing when healing others with Holy Light. So whenever you Holy Shock, whenever you heal an ally with your Q, which again you're going to want to do basically every single time, you're going to receive triple healing from your Q. So normally it does half of the healing on you, so it'll be like 150%. It's like a full Q and a half on yourself whenever you heal someone else or Holy Shock someone else while you're below half health. So it's going to give you just this very, very surprising amount of survivability, which is quite a scary thing to deal with. We're in a pretty scary situation here, but the enemy Genji does go down. That's quite nice for us. Can juke around here. The Nubkeks is not looking too healthy. He gets a shield on him at the last second. We throw out a Q. I thought he would die, but he's still going. He's still going. Greymane is on the chase. Greymane gives up under the towers and he's being chased away by a love bug beetle. And we get the kill. Awesome. Or, no, we don't get the kill. They don't get the kill. No one gets the kill. Everyone walks away alive except for the people who died. Level 20, you got a couple of cool options here as well. So Redemption is still there, and I think that will be a very powerful one, a very relevant one, which, you know, it's a 3-minute cooldown, but once your spirit form ends, you come back to life with half HP. That's very appealing. I think that seems really, really strong with this particular playstyle of Uther, especially considering that you have, you know, all that. If you pick up Beacon of Light at level 16, where when you're below 50% HP, you will give yourself like a whole bunch of bonus healing. Like, you could be very relevant to the fight with that, and just consider the amount of armor you're going to maintain, the sort of uptime on that. Another cool option, a new option, is Divine Protection, which is a new level 20 talent, which it means that Devotion will stack twice. So that armor bonus you give can stack twice, and its duration will refresh when it is applied. That's a very, very cool talent. Now, one thing about this is I feel like this will synergize much better with the W build, and particularly with Benediction at level 16. Benediction at 16 is still pretty much the same. It's a 40-second cooldown activatable ability that when you press it, it reduces the mana hugely of his next basic ability, and also reduces the cooldown by 10 seconds. So, for example, I think there's a really big synergy there between Benediction and Divine Protection, which is, okay, I use Benediction on my W. Boom, I throw one, what's it, Wave of Light? Holy Radiance, right, that's what it's called. I throw one Holy Radiance through my team. I, you know, heal them all. I give them all 25 armor. and then, you know, the cooldown expires, you're going to want to combo that with the W talent at level 1 as well. Then the cooldown, you know, it's a 2-second cooldown, even less if you've got the level 1 talent, you know, maybe no cooldown at all. Then you can just simply throw another W through them, stack it up to 50 armor for 3 seconds on your whole team. That's kind of nuts. So that seems really good. Don't know if that synergizes as well with the Holy Light build though. I think probably Redemption seems like it would be a little bit better with it, or even Divine Hurricane, making Divine Storm better maybe. But yeah, here we are making a big push here for the keep. We'll see if we can pull it off. We are talent tier up, plus a couple of levels of scaling on top of that. We're trying to get into an aggressive position. We kill, I was going to say we kill Steel. We didn't actually quite kill Steel, unfortunately, with the Holy Light. But we're still doing some pretty nifty damage. But one thing I think you should probably note as well, you might have noticed, like, for the last, like, chunk of the game, we've been basically at, like, we're at full health nearly all the time with this Uther build. Like, we're constantly at, like, nearly full health. It's so hard for these guys to do damage to us and actually get us down. Now, they're kind of wonky team comps. They've got 3 ranged damage dealers, effectively, and we've got no ranged damage dealers, so it's a bit of a weird one. I was trying to catch Genji with the Divine Storm, and it did not work out at all, unfortunately. But the core is going down. It's below 70% HP now, and this looks like it will be the end. We're able to pick up the kill there on Kel'Thuzad. You kind of see, like, that's most of that burst is Alarak, but the little bit of extra burst we could add in with the Holy Shock was kind of just the amount required to actually pick up the final killing blow right there. But I mean, like, yeah, basically we're pushing into the enemy base, and like they've got ranged damage. They can hurt us. But with the Holy Shock self-healing, we're just kind of at full health, like literally full health for the whole thing, which is kind of nuts. So, yeah, there you go, guys. I'll show you guys the stats screen. I'll give you a couple of final thoughts, but I mean, basically, Holy Shock Uther seems like it could actually be pretty good. Moving Holy Shock to level 4 is such a huge deal. And then, like, just the fact that it costs no mana, the fact that you're self-healing and giving yourself armor as well. You can see our hero damage. We did almost as much as Zeratul, so, you know, it's not too shabby, like 30,000 over the course of a 16-minute game. You know, it's nothing amazing by any means, but, like, it's decent enough. It's okay. It's something, right? It's something. Like, it's not something that you can simply ignore, so I think that's pretty cool. That's a pretty bad chest. We got 4 commons. Okay, here we go. At least 1 rare. I think we just take that one. Not the best chests, but oh well. What can you do? But yeah, guys, that is Holy Shock Uther. Cool. It's cool. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all there is to say. I think it's great. I think the Uther rework is looking fantastic. And yeah, I'm expecting Uther to actually be very relevant once this patch comes out. He's been kind of on the back burner for a while lately. He's really not been in the meta much at all. But I think you can expect to see Uther coming back in a really big way. I think he could even slot in to double support compositions quite nicely too, bringing like a sort of an extra frontliner to double support. I mean, you could do like a solo warrior double support comp with Uther. That maybe will work really nice. You know, Uther kind of providing that sort of extra frontline, you know, with his normal stuns from his Hammer of Justice, and then Divine Storm as well. Like, that could work really well, I think. And then he's tanky in the front line and giving some extra heals. And there's a few options at different talent tiers to kind of synergize with other things. But yeah, this was the sort of the full-on put everything into our Q build. Let's see how it goes. And I think it worked pretty well. And yeah, it's cool to see that this is a legitimate build where you can build into Holy Shock, and there's pretty much a talent at every single talent tier. In fact, there is a talent at every single talent tier, which synergizes with it really nicely. So clearly, Holy Shock Uther is something that they want to make happen. Now, like I said, it is not going to be, you know, this crazy damage dealing Uther. It's just a small bit of extra damage that is also enhancing your tankiness, and also to a certain extent, you know, the amount of healing you can do to your allies as well. You know, with that Blessed Champion at 13, you know, it is ultimately still a defensive thing. It's still, you know, kind of a support doing a little bit of extra damage, but still supporting through it at the same time. So do bear that in mind when you're playing this. But yeah, it's really, really cool, and I'm very glad and grateful to see it in the game. So yeah, there you go. There should be buttons on the screen to subscribe, check out other videos, and the like. So hit those if you want. Hit a thumbs up button while you're at it, and I'll see you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Like I said, going to be a more healing and W build focused Uther game coming up on the channel. in the next couple of days if you want to see more Uther, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.